Yo, what's up, man? Episode 2, the J&J podcast. It's your boy, your everyday dude, Jay Devon.
I'm Jerome.
And yeah, man, we back another week.
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, how was your week?
I was cool. It was cool. I tell you this. I just at my job, I just kind of switched over to the supervisor side of the thing. It's been a few months now, but after almost 20 years of this business, it's like seeing the other side of it.
Yeah.
How people are with when it comes to call-ins and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. It's just
So now you the dude that got to get that, they get those, I'm not feeling all that great this morning.
This dude called, right? I answered the phone. He was like, this is around the time I first started doing it. He was like, yeah, who do I got to talk to about calling in? And I was like, that would be me. And then he was like, right there on the spot.
Yeah.
I was like, we don't got to do just
say you're not going to be able to come in. Exactly. Exactly.
You don't got to do the theater.
So here's a good question right off top. Here's a good question. So you've been there for, you said 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
So
not there, but in the
within
business.
in the company, in the business.
No,
in the industry.
Not that company, but just in the business.
In the industry.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. How long you been at this particular company?
4 years.
Okay, so 4 years. So I'm sure that you've built relationships with some of the people. So how was it transitioning from being like their peer to now having to supervise them?
Well, as their peer, I always kind of kept to myself anyway. Not that I
got you.
Thought that I was
better than them.
No. It wasn't even that.
He's like, you peons are beyond me. Move those boxes.
Yeah, get away. Nah, it was just a thing of even when I was at the old company, I was that way. Yeah. I just kind of came in at my routine.
I'm like that too. I'm like that in my corporate gig, dude. I ain't there to make friends. Exactly. I ain't there to make friends. I'm here to work.
Yeah.
Whatever. I got a few people that I'll stop at their desk and
small talk.
Exactly. Like, how you doing? Whatever. Check up on whatever. But yeah, going out for drinks after work and happy hour and all that shit. I miss me with that, bro. I ain't never. Yeah. I've done that. I did that at one company that I worked at where I kind of got cool outside of the office with a few people. But normally, yeah, is that.
And it's the thing too. Coming from the Marine Corps, as we both have.
Yeah.
It's for the longest I avoided any type of management or leadership position just because I had my feel of it as a younger person. That whole thing of being answering for other people's mistakes, it's a beautiful thing when you ain't answering for nobody but you.
Exactly.
So it's that whole thing of if somebody fucks up, they asking you what happened. I had my feel of that in the Marine Corps.
That's a good question for the people, man. I think that's a good question for the people. If you're in a supervisory position, how do you navigate having to, answer for other people's, mistakes? And I do understand that, for the most part, you got to take your own responsibility.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whatever. But sometimes as a supervisor, you do have to be responsible for your team. You know what I'm saying? If your team drops the ball on something, even for me in accounting, if my team member drops the ball on something, they gonna be like, yo, you didn't check the numbers, you didn't check their work before they, before you approved it, whatever. And it's nah, I didn't. You know what I'm saying? So you still got to be responsible for.
Yeah.
I do check their work. I'm just saying if I didn't.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Is you still have. In all of that, you still have because you're catching everybody's best and worst moments because you're behind the scenes now. So it's even some of the guys that don't give you a lot of problems, and it's they become one of your favorites, one of your go-tos and stuff, and then something happens with them, and you're man, you know what I'm saying? It's just
And I think that's why a lot of times I never want to be you know, really cool with people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like at work.
Yeah.
Because when that does happen, you got to kind of navigate it like, man, you know, this is my boy, but now I got to go and tell him like, you know, yo, I got to write you up or whatever that looks like. I don't know what it's like, you know, for your, you know.
Yeah, it is that, but I feel like you can still be cool because it's like, if you fucking up,
you got to own it.
And that was one thing I learned early in the Marine Corps from being in that position. It's like, if you fucking up and I got to do your pros and cons and all this other stuff, I'm not finna slide you some dope ass pros and cons because you my boy.
Absolutely.
Like, no.
Absolutely.
You know what you be doing.
And I did have, when I, and so, you know, we talk about it now. When I did get promoted to sergeant, I remember having, well, hell, not even sergeant, corporal. When I got promoted to corporal, I remember having cats that, you know, we in my unit, you know, because you in the unit, you know, you got to rock with these cats. You working with them, you know. You might have one or two of them. You know, I had one cat in my unit that used to play ball with me. Yeah. So we would, you know, leave from work and go to the gym and ball. You know, had another cat that rode with me out on the town that night. Right. You know, so we'd get off work and then we go on Friday night. We go to the club and have drinks and shit. You know, pick up girls and stuff.
By the way, can I just explain that the leap from E3, which is Lance Corporal, to E4, which is Corporal, is non-NCO, NCO. So that's one of the first places where you're required to have some sort of separation.
Absolutely. Yep. And people, and that's a good thing to explain because a lot of people don't understand that. So when you go to, you know, E4 and you become a corporal, now all of a sudden you have to have a different mindset. You're not one of the boys anymore. Exactly. You know, on your blues, on your dress blues, you're not one of the boys anymore. And I never was that. I was always kind of, you know, which is you know how we get promoted anyway. Because they, you know, we stand out above the rest of the, you know, PFCs and you know, exactly. We stand out above those cats. So it is different when you get that promotion to, you know, to corporal, but the jump is automatically. I mean, it's instantly. It's like you are totally like, you know, like you're expected to immediately go. Now you niggas is beneath me, you
right? Know what I'm saying? And they're looking at you to see how much you're gonna
do it. Yep.
How much?
Yeah, both of them. The ones above you, you know, your sergeant, your staffs, you know, whatever, they're looking at you, and then the ones under you are looking at you too to see exactly how you going to take on this role of being, a supervisor now or NCO now. Whatever. It's a big jump.
Now you are them.
I think exactly, and I didn't really have a lot of problems with my, transition. Well, no, with like senior management. With like my staff sergeants and my sergeants or whatever. Yeah. But when I did get promoted to corporal, I remember automatically thinking, now I see what these motherfuckers go through. Yeah. Fucking dealing with us. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Not that we were, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't a bad, No,
that's just because you're going to have the spectrum.
But just you get to see firsthand like, oh shit. I was that dude, now I'm looking at, my lance corporals and PFCs and shit and I'm going, damn, and now I understand why my sergeants and lance corporals had to be the way they were with me. Yeah. Because, and
when you the lance corporal and the PFC and all of that, your mindset is kind of like, shit, I'll be doing all the work around this motherfucker. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't really do shit. They just be barking out orders and whatnot. But it's just like that when you get promoted to that next rank or whatever, you learn more stuff because you're required to know more stuff. Yeah. And then that stuff is not stuff that you have time to, or you can't explain everything. It's just like just do. Like I used to say, just do what I said. Yep. And because I have information that you don't have. Yeah. And if I'm wrong, I'll take the heat for that. Yeah. Because I told you to do it.
I think that was always a struggle for me, regardless of my rank. I think for me that started as, you know, as a private, you know what I'm saying? I literally was that guy that always wanted to understand why I was doing something.
That's because you was a guy in boot camp and you thought you was just
I just always wanted to know what was going on, bro. And
nobody got time though for that.
Just to exactly. No, I found that out. And then just to have everything that you do be, like you said, just kind of, you know, bark down at you or fed to you, and your only job is to do what the hell this person is saying. Yeah. And it's like, okay, is there an end game? You know what I'm saying? Is there a reasoning for me doing this thing right now? Yeah. Because if there's not, why the hell am I doing it? You know what I mean?
Because when we get there and you're like, okay, where's the thing? And then you're like, well, I didn't bring it because it didn't make any sense. Yeah. And like, this is why the fuck we needed it.
You figure it out after a while. But again, you know, and you know the military is, you know, the military in general is a whole bunch of shit that you don't really know why you're doing it until you actually are, you know, in something that go, and then you go, oh, now that makes perfect sense as to why I needed to do this thing, you know, 3 months ago or 6 months ago or whatever that is. Yeah. So, but in the moment, it's always just like, what the fuck? Why are we doing this? You know what I'm saying? Why are we?
But because it's like, to me, the mentality of that is like, let's say it's a task as simple as filling, let's say we need 20 sandbags filled up and put over in that corner.
That shit's done. Right. Because I've done that before. Right. I've had to do that before. Like, why are we doing this?
But let's say that's what's needed.
It's not going to rain. It's summertime. We're not next to a body of water that we're going to have to dam up or nothing like that. Yeah. Why are we filling up bags of sand?
Because we need to. If you think about what boot camp is, a lot of boot camp. First of all, it's a lot of mind games. They tear you all the way down, take you all out of your habits and I'm from this place and all of that, and then they build you up the way they want. So everything, by the time you get to like second, third phase, you're pretty much a zombie. Yeah. Like you're just doing. You get up as soon as you. By the time that song is over, your rack's made. You in the front, the POA, everything is automatic. Yep. You don't even think about it.
POA is position of attention. In case anybody, we're gonna throw out a lot of stuff out here that y'all might not grasp. So we're gonna have to put out a Jerome do all the little graphics and shit, the little keys and stuff to let y'all know what this stuff be.
But yeah, that's what I'm probably not gonna do all that. You probably just gonna Google it. No, but the point is, like, there are gonna be some things, unexpected things, where I'm going to just need you to go do exactly what I told you to do, exactly the way I told you to do it right now, because time is of the essence, and I don't have the time to say, because if you go do that, then what it's going to do for the rest of the situation is blah, blah, blah. Just go do it. Yeah. And then if you need to know after that, so be it. Like, I completely understand that. Because ain't nothing, when you're in charge of shit, you feel like anything that goes wrong is on you. Yeah. And so you're thinking you're problem solving, you're doing all this shit to make sure nothing does go wrong. I can't have why going on while I'm trying to orchestrate all this shit. Like, come on, man.
All right, so let's back up a little bit. How did you get into the Marine Corps? What was your journey to the Marine Corps?
The summer between my junior and senior year, I just found out that my, first wife to be was pregnant. And I was just like, man, because, we had both, the plan was to go to college. Yeah. We was going to go to college. We was going to go to different colleges, and we said if we still together at the end of that, then we'll get married.
Whatever. Yeah. Just throw our future to the to the wind and see if something sticks.
But once she got pregnant, obviously that was not because I was like, in my mind, I was like, well, I can't just be some bum ass motherfucker going to college and I got a child to raise. Yeah. Like, it's just not.
You was trying to be responsible.
Right. So while I was thinking, what am I going to do? Yeah. So, I was trying to be in my kids' lives.
Goal oriented ass nigga.
Yeah. But while I was thinking, what am I going to do about all of this? That's when Marine Corps recruiter called, and I was like,
they called?
Yeah. And I was like, absolutely. And that. So yeah, I mean, and I don't think there's not a lot of. There are those people that join up to be a hero and all that, but exactly. that's not the majority.
I don't think that's the majority either, man. My story was I had no intentions of joining the Marine Corps. I was going to do the same thing. I was going to go to college. I was going to go to junior college for a couple of years and then transition into, Alabama. I wanted to go to the University of Alabama.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was, I had moved from Philly and, graduated high school down in Alabama. Shout out to Opp, Alabama. But when the summer between my junior and senior year, I took the ASVAB.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think nothing of it. You know what I'm saying? You take that, I'm just thinking like it's like a little IQ test, whatever. I'm thinking nothing of it.
I'll tell you how I took the ASVAB after this.
So we take the ASVAB. That was back when they used to issue the ASVAB, at school.
Okay.
So I take the ASVAB. Again, not thinking anything of it. And then my buddy,
mm-hmm.
my brother, his family raised me.
Yeah.
My last couple of years of high school, they took me in because my mom was, with the shits or whatever. So he wanted to join the Marine Corps.
Mm-hmm.
We went to the recruiter together, and he couldn't get in. He didn't think that I could get in and gave me shit about it for the longest time about, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The recruiter looks at me and goes, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to go to college, whatever. And I don't know if you remember this. So back when I joined the Marine Corps, they used to sit these little placards in front of you,
mm-hmm.
and they had all these little things on them, and you had to pick your top 3.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there was like 8 or 9 of them,
mm-hmm.
and you had to pick your top 3. So I picked like travel, education, and athletics or some shit like that.
No, I went to recruiter school. So
okay. So you know the bullshit. You know the bullshit.
Yeah.
So Tony Williams, shout out to Staff Sergeant Tony Williams was my recruiter. So he sits these placards in front of me, and I'm like, I'm not trying to, I'm reading the Sports Illustrated. I'm sitting there in the recruiter's office while my boy Carnell was talking to the recruiter. I'm not even trying to hear none of that shit, right?
Yeah.
So all of a sudden he turns to me and goes, well, what are you going to do with your future, young man? I'm like, nigga, why'd you have to ask me that? Whatever. So he sits the placards out in front of me, and like I said, I picked my 3. And he goes, oh, we can do all that for you. We can give you all that, whatever. I'm like,
of course, everything on there is stuff.
It's stuff that they can do. Yeah. Exactly. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Didn't think nothing of it, man. A couple months later, dude shows up at my house. Talks to my mom. And, my mom was, out there at the time, the drugs and stuff.
Yeah.
But at that point, I felt like I wanted to go.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it was. It was just like I think for me, it was more or less getting away from, the situation I was in at the time.
Yeah.
With my mom and whatever. I just wanted to not be around that. I didn't even want to be in the same area because I was hearing about it. I was hearing about all the stuff my mom was doing with the drugs, and I was just like, I don't want to hear all this shit. So I bounced.
Yeah.
That's how I got in the Marine Corps, bro. So like you said, I didn't go in the Marine Corps to be a hero. I didn't go in the Marine Corps to fight, whatever. I mean, I ended up doing all that.
Yeah.
But I joined the Marine Corps strictly just to get away from home. And, I didn't need discipline. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I had discipline. I was a pretty disciplined kid. I mean, I wasn't like, I did some wild shit, growing up. But I mean, overall, I wasn't just a bad person, bad dude or whatever. So it wasn't like I went in for discipline or, where I see these parents like, oh, I want, he needs discipline or whatever. No. That was your job.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You should have been giving him discipline way before you got to the Marine Corps. But then I did see that. When I got there, I saw these dudes who just didn't know, they had no kind of, they didn't have any structure in their lives where me, I got up every morning, I made my bed, you know what I'm saying? I cleaned up around the house, I cooked, whatever, I did all this. I was like, I don't know what it's like to not have structure. Yeah. So the Marine Corps wasn't nothing for me. It wasn't nothing for me to, learn how to make a hospital corner and all as a folder. I did all that at home. If you would looked at my bed at home was, it was folded down and the sheet was, 8 inches, 6 inches from the top, with the pillows. Yeah. I was already doing all that, but I also had, military members in my family, all around. So I don't know whether I just picked it up from them or just, like I said, it just was what it was. But that was my story, man. That was my joy, man. Tony Williams, man. I love him to death. Yeah. But sometimes I'm like, fuck Tony Williams. Yeah. Because I don't know how much different my life would have been had I not gone into the Marine. You know what I'm saying? Had I stayed at home, went to college, whatever, how much different my life would have been if not for that.
Whenever I think of that scenario or whatever that is, like the butterfly effect thing, I don't ever see it turning out better if I didn't go to the Marine Corps.
That's deep. And see, I kind of have said that same thing. And it's crazy that you say that. That's actually a good conversation to have too. Not today, but that's a good conversation to have because we always talk about that. People are always like, well, what if? But the butterfly effect or whatever. I didn't know that's what it was called. Shout out to you for knowing that because I had no idea.
Movie.
I've heard of it. I've heard of it, but I didn't know that's what.
Yeah, you take any little thing from your past,
I probably had an idea of what it was, but I just have never, but I do remember the movie and whatever. But but yes, just like you said, just moving a little piece of something out of your, like they say, when you go back in time, you're not supposed to touch stuff. You're not supposed to mess with stuff because it alters the timeline.
Most importantly, you don't speak to yourself.
But I don't know, bro. I do think about that. I've thought about that so many times over the last 30 plus years or so since I joined the Marine Corps, and then almost 30 now since I've been out. It's been almost 30 years since I've been out. I got out in 97, so I'm 27 years out of the Marine Corps now. Yeah. And I often wonder how much different would my life be? And to be fair, I won't even hold you. To be fair, I probably would have, it probably would have been worse. Yeah. Yeah, it probably would have been worse.
Because I wasn't like you with the making the bed and doing all that stuff. I wasn't a complete slob. Yeah. But it wasn't rigid like that. Yeah. So, but that wasn't the thing that bothered me. Doing whatever we had to do was fine. It's this dude's gonna find a reason to yell anyway. Yeah. Even if I do it right.
Oh yeah, you talk about the DIs and stuff.
Yeah, I never.
They were definitely going. They was going. Fuck. They was there just to fuck with you, no matter what. You could have been a perfect recruit. Yeah, and you was going to not be perfect.
Yeah, we had been. We was whooped and yelled at and stuff like that. But this was a different thing because it was just like, what the fuck? And even if some people just had a muscle memory reaction to that, and then make a face and then don't make a face. If you make a face, you're going to get surrounded by every...
I think it's funny that you mentioned that. We talked about this a little bit before we started, recording or whatever. Yeah. I don't know that I ever really had a fear of my drill instructors. You know what I mean? Because of that. Yeah. Because I grew up in a tough home. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I grew up with, my great aunt, shout out to Thelma Cisco, my uncle Bernard, shout out to Pop. Yeah. I grew up with that. I didn't, so people yelling at me or, that wasn't a thing. That was like, whatever. So when I got it from the drill instructors, I was just kind of like, all right. It wasn't like, I wasn't like, oh, he yelling at me.
No, for me, it wasn't a thing of, even later on in my career, a sergeant major complained to my gunnery sergeant that he didn't like it that I didn't have the pucker factor.
Yeah. Yep.
Because you're a dude. Yeah. You're a person with rank, yes, but you're not God.
Exactly.
So it's just like I didn't have a fear of them like, oh shit, they're gonna kill me. Yeah. It wasn't like that. It was more of a like, fuck. Now, like when you see. When you're somewhere in the squad bay where you see your senior drill instructor or whoever that drill instructor that changes the mood of the fucking room when it's tolerable, and they hear this motherfucker come.
Staff Sergeant Wright.
And we about to start playing games, and we about to start reversing it now, and we about to start doing all this stuff.
Shout out to Staff Sergeant Wright, because he was that dude. Every time when he walked through the doors of the
nobody
barracks,
had to do nothing,
bruh. You already knew it was on. He didn't care. It could be he was going to find some reason to put somebody on the quarterdeck. He was going to find some reason he'd make one up, dude. Sergeant Wright was that dude. He didn't give a damn. Somebody was going to do some extra exercises,
bro.
Anytime he walked in the barracks.
I saw somebody get thrashed on the quarterdeck, thrashed within an inch of their life in third phase, because the drill instructor was like, "Who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
Why have I not fucking seen you? Get your fucking ass on the quarterdeck. I'm gonna thrash you for," because he just didn't.
The quiet ones was
he just was under the radar the whole time.
Yeah.
And dude just realized like.
We had dudes like that. We had. I remember us having a guy in our platoon that literally. I mean, I knew everybody. Mm-hmm. I was the guy, so I had to know everybody. But I remember this one dude when we finally got to the last phase. Like that part of. I kept going. This motherfucker been here the whole time.
Yeah.
He was just so quiet, dude. He was so. I was like, he been here the whole time, and he was just under the radar. That never got in trouble. Yeah. Kept his little stuff done. Whatever. Would just stayed just enough under the radar to where nobody really. And I remember going, and again, then you had me, who was, I was in the spotlight the whole time. From the minute I walked on to the, from the minute they came and got us off from the recruiting, from the bus. Receiving. I was catching heat. Yeah. Immediately, they was like, "Oh, you think you cool? You think you, whatever." No, I don't, bro.
You think I'm cool?
Exactly. You think exactly? do you think I'm cool? Because I'm just chilling. I'm here like everybody else, bro. Yeah. But I was under the radar I was in the spotlight every day from day one through the end, and it was maybe like 2 or 3 other cats that I remember that they just really stayed on us the whole time. Yeah. I can't remember his name. And if he ever catches this, shout out to him. We had this big white boy from Kentucky. Yeah. I'll never forget him. 6'3"-ish, country fed, looked like he probably played, DN or linebacker or some goofy shit like that, man. And we had beef because he was racist. Okay. He was straight up racist. He was straight up. He had never seen a black. He even admitted to us at one point he had never seen black people outside of watching like the Cosby Show or whatever on TV. Whatever. And even then, his parents wouldn't let him watch the Cosby Show. You know what I'm saying? Like he knew there were black people on TV, but so I was like, "Where the fuck are you from that you've never seen?" I'll tell you where he was from. He was from West Paducah, Kentucky. He lived in the sticks in West Paducah, Kentucky.
And that really do be a thing.
No, it's a real thing. And so we had beef, bro. We had major beef all the way through, man. And but when we came out of it, like I said before,
did you have beef just because he was ignorant to black?
No. We had beef because he didn't like me. He didn't like because I was the guy. He okay. He was one of the cats that So they always.
How's this nigga telling me?
Well, no, they always. So this is what happens when you're in the Marine Corps, and I don't know if this happens in any other branch of the service, but this happens in the Marine Corps especially. They usually take the bigger dudes and try to make them the leaders, especially in recruit training. They try to take so he and I automatically were kind of pitted against each other because we were both bigger dudes. Well, taller. I was taller at that. I wasn't big, but I was tall.
I don't even think that's a thing of where it's like because the bigger one is the tougher one thing. I think that's like wait, they are really, really deadly serious about that third phase motherfucking drill.
Yeah,
and so. Having a tall guy looks way better than having a short guy.
He couldn't march for shit. He had no rhythm.
They don't give a fuck about you.
Exactly. He was tough as hell.
Yeah, and they don't give a fuck about none of that.
I had to fight him in boxing. I had to fight him in pugil sticks. Me and him was always, it was always me versus him because we were both tall and, whatever. But
you can't drill.
But dude, he could not walk for, we were 11, 10, 11 weeks in, bro, and he walked like you ever see somebody who walk and they swing the same arm with the same leg?
Yeah.
That was how he walked, bro. Yeah. And he could not figure out how to walk, bro.
He was uncoordinated.
Just uncoordinated. And so again, me, I'm, whatever. I got the, I'm there. I'm up, whatever. Fist, thumb. Thumb. You had to walk like that. Thumb along the seam of your trousers. I'm there. I'm with it. I'm with the shits from the first day.
That'll get it.
So, but yes, because of that they tried to pit us against each other, and then like I said, we might have been about 9 weeks in before one night we finally had a conversation in the barracks. We were it was late one night, whatever, and I was talking to him, and he told me, he said I never saw black people until I came here, and it was crazy to me, I'm like, how the fuck did you never see black people? But that was the first. I'll say this. That was my first time really trying to understand somebody who didn't come from where I came from. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Who didn't grow up like I did, who didn't, what I'm saying? Like, and I had to, what I'm saying? I wanted to know. I wanted to know, like, what, why, how did you get like this? You know what I'm saying? So that was my first experience dealing with somebody who came from a completely different background that I did, had no idea about who I was, I had no idea who they was, and we had to find a way to, to work together. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, that was my first experience was, the Marine Corps.
So my first experience, because my first roommate, his name was Jose Rojas, and he was Mexican dude, Mexican, like from Mexico.
Gotcha.
So by the time I get there, he's a Lance Corporal already. So he's been in this room,
gotcha.
Probably a year.
For a minute, yeah.
So everything in there is his. The TV, the radio, all this other shit, right?
I got lucky enough, bro, not to cut you off, but real quick. I got lucky enough that literally I had my own room in the barracks for like my whole time. Yeah, I never moved anybody in with me, bro. I literally had and then I had my room set up because in our barracks, the barracks we were in, we had conjoining bathrooms with the room next door.
Yeah.
So exactly. But my room, because I didn't have any mate, I put both the bunks together. Yeah. So I had like a king or queen type joint going on, whatever. I had two the cabinets, I
had lava lamps and shit.
Hey, bro, I had my stereo system. Shout out to my first Kenwood that I bought. I bought a Kenwood with the reel-to-reel. And the receiver, the big ass receiver, record player, bruh. I ain't even gonna hold you, man, but I know we probably not supposed to be, nigga. I had R. Kelly 12 play and Jodeci's Forever My Lady, and then into
that was before the first peeing incident, so that's
nigga. Hey, bruh,
you cool?
I was knocking down. Oof. I put in work in my barracks room at El Toro.
Oof. All right, so let's.
Okay, sorry, bro. I was reminiscing for a second. My bad.
And this kind of goes with a segment we talked about doing. Like, was I tripping? Right?
Yeah.
Like, was I tripping? Like, so this dude, like I said, he from Mexico, so there's probably a culture barrier going on.
It's absolutely a culture barrier.
And so
did he speak English?
Yeah. Thick accent, but he spoke.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
English was his second language. For sure.
Of course, but yeah. But at least he understood.
Yeah.
Okay.
But culturally, so I'm gonna tell you what I was doing. I'm in the room. I got off work before he did. We work at the same place. We was both in supply. I get
which one? Which supply?
3051 warehouse.
Okay, I was 30. Well, they changed it to 33 by the time I got out, but I was 30. I was 3061, and then I got switched to 3361. They changed they combined us with I can't remember what they combined us with, but I went from being a 3061 to 3361.
NBC or something?
Something like it was like ammunition supply and all that shit, gas mask and all that shit. Yeah.
Okay. Well, so this dude I get off work before he does this particular day, and I come back to the room and I'm watching. I was watching Comic View. This dude comes into the room,
turns on the
grabs the remote. That's already like it's your remote.
Already violation.
But it's his remote. Yeah. It's his TV. But that's just how it is because it's not. I can't afford a TV. We do the same job. Like I can go get a TV and put it right here. So he grabs the remote. Not only does he change, he hasn't even said a word yet.
Yeah.
He grabs the remote, plops down on his bed, straight to Univision. Like, so it's TV I can't even understand.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, am I tripping? Like, is that... I get the argument that it's his stuff.
TV, yeah.
But just to not even acknowledge me like that, and just to... You know what I did? Petty McPeterson. I went and got me a TV. I went and got me a radio. And then it became whose shit was louder. So now nobody can enjoy nothing.
Petty.
But was I tripping though?
Yeah. No, you wasn't tripping. No, that's legit. I mean, at least acknowledge me, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least say, like, hey, you know, I want to watch.
But can he whatever then say, on Univision, well, it's my TV?
I mean, yeah, he can say that too. But I'm saying at least be like, you know, yeah, you know.
I just thought it was the strangest thing. Keep in mind, like, I'm 18. Yeah. I've never lived outside of home with my family. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't. What is
but to be fair, like you and you just said, am I tripping? To be fair, even that you know, even if it was somebody from your family member. You know what I'm saying?
That's different because this is our TV now.
I get it, but even if your mama walk in the room and just grab the remote and turn the TV,
you got nothing to say about it.
You ain't got nothing to say about it. But your mama probably going to at least say, you know, I want to watch my stories, or I want to. If she don't, it's cool. If she don't, it's cool.
And you ain't allowed to.
But she would at least. But she might at least say, you know, I want to watch my stories or whatever, and then turn the channel or whatever. But just to not say nothing.
Black women of that generation keyed in on microaggressions. So if you huffed,
here we go.
Close your eyes.
Here we go.
Anything. They just keyed in on this.
What? Exactly.
And it's just so like, yeah, that didn't even count. But it was like, because it was the three of me and my brother and sister are twins.
Yeah. So
they're a year and a half younger than me. So it was always, if it was just us in the living room, we did the tap system. You know, tap my remote, whatever. Whoever touches the remote first gets to decide what we're watching. And but yeah, if an adult came into the room, they didn't acknowledge us. They just whatever. But this dude, it was a culture shock. And another one similar to your thing was the guys next door. I believe they was from Kentucky as well. Big old Confederate flag on the wall, a book on the coffee table that says the South was right.
Yeah.
I was just like, what is this world? I never met people like that before. Just like they never.
It's funny that you mentioned that because, again, we were talking about this pre-show. I didn't realize when I did join the Marine Corps, like I said before, I didn't join the Marine Corps to be a hero. I didn't join the Marine Corps to fight wars and all that stuff. That I joined the Marine Corps because I had issues at home and I just wanted to be away from that. Yeah. I didn't want to be home. Once I did get there and I went through recruit training, I did find myself, loving the Marine Corps. Mm-hmm. I love the Marine Corps. I remember just like, the sheer joy I felt, and this is not me capping at all.
Yeah.
Like, you don't understand that graduating from Marine Corps recruit training is one of those things that not a lot of people get to do. You know what I'm saying? For all the things that there's certain things that just some people will never understand. Yeah. Like winning a championship in sports, you know what I'm saying? Or graduating from, college with honors or whatever.
Yeah.
Graduating from Marine Corps recruit training
12 weeks long.
Exactly. It's that same thing. 13 weeks
weeks
of just the most brutal fucking training you are ever going to go through. Put like Jerome said,
especially if you're in San Diego.
The mental.
The other one, I don't know. I can't speak.
We can go back and forth. Look, we can go back and forth about this all day. Parris Island, San Diego. I'm just saying, bro.
It's a thing.
It is. It's a thing, and you'll hear that argument from Marines on the fleet all through the time that you're in there. But no, I was saying that the sheer joy that I remember feeling from standing there and having them say, you are now, a United States Marine or whatever that spill is or whatever.
Dismissed and you step back.
Exactly.
But just
the whole hearing that, and you're standing there that whole time on that field, I'm holding the flag, whatever, and I'm listening to, and dude, it is so crazy as to how it makes you get attached to the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
And so I was attached to the Marine Corps in that moment. Then I got on the fleet and I started seeing stuff like that. Yeah. Dudes with Confederate flags hanging in their rooms and shit. And I'm like, hold up. This is supposed to be a band of brothers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, these motherfuckers don't even like me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it was just crazy to see that. Even after I had the situation that I talked about with old boy from Kentucky, again, we bonded. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what happened to him once he joined the fleet. He probably got with his, Kentucky boys and exactly, whatever.
But plenty enough to go around.
But in that moment, bro, it was just, and then that's the thing I think that destroyed my, the love that I wanted to have for the Marine Corps was realizing that these motherfuckers are still human.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're still just racism. They're still, if you grew up in Kentucky, if you grew up in Tennessee or whatever, or hell, you could be me, grow up, you whatever it is, you still have, for as much as the Marine Corps can, like you said, break you down and rebuild you and make you that zombie by phase 3 where you're just operating off of,
but
waking up.
Then you start going home.
You go home, exactly.
Yeah.
Then you go home after recruit training, and guess what? You fall right back into that. You gotta see that family.
Some Marines, that's when they get fat,
man,
because they start going home too much, getting at home.
And I went home for 30 days. I didn't get fat. I went home for 30 days, bro. I was getting up every morning and running. I was running 3-4 miles every day. My family thought I was crazy. Exactly. No, my family thought I was crazy. Whatever. Even my boy, even my best friend, Carnell, my brother, all the shit that he gave me when I came home and he saw that I graduated, he showed me love. You know what I'm saying? He still gave me shit. You know what I'm saying? He didn't think that I was Marine material, but once he saw that I actually did it, he gave me love. Yeah. And nigga, I was getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, running around our neighborhood in Alabama. I was. I had on my Marine Corps t-shirt with the little booty shorts and my little New Balances.
You probably singing cadence shit. Left, right, left. Like, come on, bro. You got by yourself.
I was out there doing that. I was out there, But yeah, I would get up in the morning, put on my Marine Corps t-shirt, put on my little shorts, my running shoes, my Nike running shoes, and New Balance, whatever the fuck we was running in back then.
Yeah.
And I would run around the neighborhood, bro, 3-4 miles. And but that's when I really was embracing it. Then I got on the fleet. And when I got on the fleet, it took me less than 6 months to start seeing the shit. You know what I'm saying?
My thing is, though, I would see stuff here and there, but it wasn't enough to that shit wasn't none of my business.
Yeah, see, for me it was, bro. It bugged me.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't have bro, if I don't have to work with you or for you directly.
But that was the thing. My thing was, bro, we about to go over here, Desert Storm.
Yeah.
And I gotta worry about, you know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying, but
I gotta make sure that you got my back. You know what I'm saying? I gotta make sure you really got that you really fuck with me like that. Yeah. Not on some Marine Corps shit, but on some real, and it was just like, man, but then I'm watching these dudes going, nah, bro, I don't even trust you like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't trust you with my life, bro. You flying a fucking Confederate flag in your room. You know what I'm saying? Why would I trust you with my life?
For me,
I get it, there should be that, separation maybe, but Yeah.
Because to me, it was just like, it's just like when you go to church, right? Like, most of them people ain't got their shit together.
Church people are heathens. Just so we,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
we're being fair, church people are heathens.
But there was a time where I thought,
disgusting.
There was a time where I thought that everybody in there had their shit together. Like,
oh yeah, no doubt.
And so
I feel that.
And so then you don't start going like, oh, this person's a hypocrite, so this is all bullshit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, so
you try to you try to make it to where you're only it's like we're dating. It's like we're dating. Just because this chick shitted on you or this dude shitted on you, don't mean that all dudes ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you just happen to run into that person.
There is still a such thing as honor, courage, and commitment.
There is. I'm not saying it's all bad in the Marine Corps. That's not what I'm saying.
I'm not saying it's all good.
Exactly.
But what I'm saying is
that balance of for me, when I saw it, it made me feel like some kind of way, and I kept that feeling. I couldn't shake that feeling. Once I started seeing it, here's what happened. Once I started seeing it, I started looking for it.
Yeah.
Then I started seeing it more. Then the more I saw it, the more I went, wait a second. This is not, because again, maybe in some kind of way I was brainwashed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe in some kind of way I was led to believe that, the Marine Corps none of that existed in the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
So when I saw that it did, it tainted my vision of the Marine Corps. You know what I'm saying? And it's not the Marine Corps' fault, because to be fair, we talked about this. Even after I got out, I separated myself from the Marine Corps for 15 years. Yeah. Before I started going to the VA again, before I started, doing...
I did the same.
Exactly. And when I did go back, there's right now 27 years removed from my last day in the Marine Corps, 27 plus years. There are times when I jump on the Patriot bandwagon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There are times when I'm like, America. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm like, we gonna kill all these motherfuckers trying to come at us. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I be feeling that, but then sometimes I be like, we that we gonna breach that because it's like, but I'm black first and foremost.
Yeah.
First and foremost, I don't give a fuck, and that was the thing that always bothered me. I had a staff sergeant. Shout out to Bobby Moore. He's one of my he was my staff when I got promoted to sergeant. He was my staff.
Yeah.
And I remember I would talk to him, and I would try to talk to him from from here.
Yeah.
And he would be talking to me from America.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bruh, nah. Like, come on, bro. I want to talk to you.
But you didn't have no business stuff. You couldn't talk to staff sergeant.
Nah, I couldn't. But I wanted to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wanted to know that if the shit went down, you know what I'm saying? Whose side you on? Because and see, that's what I'm saying. It's a tough
war jumps
exactly. It's a tough line to walk when you're a black man in the military, because again, bro, you want to be all about America, but at the same time, you're like, you know what? I know these motherfuckers don't give a fuck about me. I know they don't.
Check the other side. Peep the other side of that, though, right? So, my brother is getting ready to retire from the Marine Corps after 28 years. He's at the top of the food chain. He helps make policy, create policy, change policy. He's up there.
Yeah. He's Sergeant Major?
No, he's a Master Gunner. But he's buddies with the Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps, buddies with the Commandant, all that. Like, they know each other like that. It's like that. Like, he's on that type of time. But he's also a gay black man in the United States Marine Corps.
Yeah.
And there was a time when
did he come out about that?
Yeah, he knew in high school. I didn't know.
So he went in knowing.
Yeah.
He let them know when he went in, or
no.
That's what I'm saying. When did he finally
Well, this is what I'm telling you, is like there were years of his career where he was afraid of, man, if I get caught or if I get seen out doing this, and I'm like it was that was the don't ask, don't tell years and all of that.
Absolutely.
But he could have just said, Marine Corps don't fuck with gay people, Marine Corps don't fuck with black people, I'm out of here.
Wow.
But instead, he's at the top changing policy.
He's stuck around. Yeah,
people
and again, bro, I'm not. Again, that's what I'm saying. Like I get it. Like that's amazing.
Yeah.
And if you have that kind of wherewithal to stick it out and then great. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But again, for me,
but it's not like it's not like you going to work and there's a line of people going nigger. It's not that.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. It was hard for me, bro, because I was seeing it. I was seeing it so much, and it was just like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Like here's
you also was in the South, right?
I was in the South.
I was in California.
Here's the mentality that I took on at one point. I took on the mentality that if I was going to have to deal with this, I might as well just live in the South. I might as well just get the fuck out of the Marine Corps. If I'm gonna have to deal with racism, I'd rather deal with it from, motherfuckers that I know are racist. You know what I mean? Like we talk about this. I was talking about this with one of my friends the other day. Like even living in Vegas, there's a perception that Vegas is this, and it is. It's a touristy town. It's whatever. Yeah. But it's also very racist.
Yeah,
it's very fucking racist, bro. And it's amazing to me that people don't see that. I mean, I get if you just here visiting, you probably wouldn't see it. But people who live here always go, "Oh no, it's not." Yes, it is, and it's so racist because it's like it's the Wild West, but then it's this little underlying umbrella of racism that goes around and nobody talks about, nobody acts like exists. Whereas when you go down the South, like you said, nigga, if I walk past your porch and I see a Confederate flag, I'm knowing what I'm up against. Yeah. I want to know what I'm up against.
But if you go next door to the barracks and they got a big old huge Confederate,
you know what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
But I shouldn't have to deal. But my whole thing was I shouldn't have to deal with that in the Marine Corps. That was the only stance I had was I shouldn't have to deal with this in this band of brothers. I shouldn't have to deal with the motherfucker next door to me flying the Confederate flag.
But that's wild. I get what you're right.
Yeah.
But also, it's kind of like that's like if you join the police and you like a lot of these guys around here don't like black people. I don't like this. Like
you knew. I guess I didn't know. Like
it's
now,
not quite the same.
It would be different now because I have a better understanding. At 17 years old, I was a little bit naive. I ain't gonna hold you. I was a little bit naive, and I went into the Marine Corps, and then I went through recruit training. And bro, when I tell you, even the dude from Kentucky that I talked about, and I wish I could remember that dude's name. Please, I want to remember his name. One of these days, I might remember his name. Even when we did the step back and the about face and we, whatever. Yeah. I remember he was one of the first people I sought out.
Yeah.
And I was one of the first people that he sought out.
Yeah.
And we hugged each other.
Yeah.
We was like, nigga, just, like, right, fuck, boom, whatever, ooh, rah, whatever. We was, whatever. We broke that, you know what I'm saying? We broke that thing, that distance between us through what we had to go through for 13 weeks in recruit training.
Yeah.
Then I got on the fleet, and it was like,
Because also, like another thing that happens with boot camp is like, it's you and your platoon against the world.
Yeah, true.
Y'all against the other platoons. True. You against the drill instructors. You against the squad. It breaks down in so many different ways, but it's y'all against everybody. And so, accomplishing that and finishing that is gonna be a good feeling where people that may be on opposite sides of things seek each other out. But as you get into the fleet, everything starts breaking down into, cliques, I guess you could call it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, even within my job, it's like, or you say go into the fleet, right? You got grunts and pogues. They look at each other differently.
Yep. Supply and
then supply and motor T look at each other
cooks
differently.
And
yeah. But within supply, you got warehouse supply and you got office
ammunition supply.
I mean, just in supply that I was in, there's the office admin, and then there's the warehouse.
Oh, the warehouse, yep.
And then those
the office motherfuckers was bougie.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the motherfuckers in the warehouse, we doing all the work.
Yeah.
And we just, handing the paperwork to the office motherfuckers so they can,
And supposedly it's because they got a higher ASVAB score.
Yeah.
And let me tell you how I took the ASVAB. So right before my senior year of high school started, they flew me and my best friend at the time out to Arizona, which is where I found out Arizona was racist. But so they took us out to that, and they put us in a hotel room. It was like, all right, and then we didn't know what to do with that. We was up, we was just doing whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn near, we wasn't drinking or nothing crazy, but we wasn't
up all night watching TV.
Yeah, we wasn't like, we better go to sleep.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and they came and got us like, I want to say 3-4 in the morning,
to take the ASVAB.
Yeah. And so the way I took the ASVAB, the way I remember taking it, it was like, because it goes to sections.
Yep.
So it'd be like, this is blah 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 blah. You got so and so minutes.
You had the math section. You had like the section where you had the gears and shit,
whatever
like the mechanical section, whatever. Yeah.
And so with me, I couldn't tell you one fucking thing, because what would happen was we would get to going on this section, and then he'd say, "You got 1 minute left," and that would wake me up.
Yeah.
And then I would just fill in the answers. Yeah. I didn't read.
I didn't take it seriously. If I had taken it, I actually saw an ASVAB. I couldn't
take it seriously. I was sleeping through the whole thing.
I saw an ASVAB years later, and I said to myself, I could have aced this shit. I could have been like, better job or whatever. But again, I took it as, bullshit. It was, like I said, between my junior and senior year, I wasn't thinking about going to the military. I was thinking about, trying to go to college and stuff. So I was like, whatever. But when I went back and looked at the test, I was like, I really didn't do that well on that test. Like, bro, I was AP everything in school. AP English, AP calculus, whatever. I should have aced that shit, but I didn't take it seriously. Yeah. I was, I just didn't. I was just like, whatever, whatever,
No,
I was just like,
I couldn't take it seriously. Yeah. I was literally, it would be like, I would try to get to the first couple questions, and then I would just doze off until he said 1 minute left, and I'd be, oh shit, and then fill out the whole thing. Every section was like that.
Well, shit, you lucky that you still was able to do that and get supplies. So you could have been a grunt.
Yeah, my boy failed completely.
You ended up being a grunt.
No, they was like, you can't.
Oh. So he didn't even get to go 0, 100?
He didn't even finish out the...
What is grunt? 0, 100? No, 0, 500.
No,
500.
0311.
0311. There you go.
Remember they used to call him 03 Dum Dum?
That's right, 0311.
Yeah. So, he didn't even finish out the physical. It was just like, get your dumb ass out of here, nigga. And he ended up joining, I want to say a year later or whatever it was, but I think he joined the same year my brother joined. But the point is, like, once you get to the fleet, it breaks down into so many different groups.
Yeah.
That, and then within that, you got just people that naturally gravitate toward each other. You got the type of people that listen to this type of music, that type of music, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But
I'll say this. For as much, because I think a lot of times when I talk about the Marine Corps, I had to be careful about this because for years it was just my frustration and my animosity towards certain things that happened to me while I was in the Marine Corps. I love the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
I do. I appreciate, even if I didn't think I needed it at that time because of the way that I was raised and the way my life was set up at that time, I wouldn't change it. You know what I'm saying? Like we talked about the butterfly effect.
Yeah.
I think I probably needed that in my life at that time.
Accomplishing something that big, that young. Because one of the other things that makes you want to join, after, even if you weren't thinking about it, and you sit there and really talk to some Marines about it, it's like, these motherfuckers got their shit together.
Yeah.
If nothing else.
Yeah.
And then
while I was in, I can honestly say that I was probably the most squared away that I was in my entire fucking life.
And then when you start coming home,
I'm getting better now as I've gotten older. But I went through a phase of, after I got out, where I couldn't get, where that transition back into civilian life, it's not the same.
Nah.
It's not like waking up every day and having, the barracks and and I was telling my lady this. I was like, I remember having like my car note used to come out of my Navy Federal account automatically. I had to worry about it. Exactly. Or I had to worry about that.
Half on the first, half on the 15th.
When I got out, I had to learn how to pay bills on my own. Mm-hmm. I didn't know how to pay my car note without, bro.
You can really
pay a light bill and all that stuff like that. So it was a transition for me.
You can get through them first 4 to 8 years without doing none of that. Because if you living in the barracks, you ain't paying no rent. Because that's covered.
You just getting your little $400 every 2 weeks and getting to do whatever you want to do with it. $500, $600, whatever that is.
Even if you live out in town with your family, you're getting extra pay for that.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not really, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's an unrealistic
view of real life.
And it's because they don't want you to have to worry about all that stuff. There's still people that fuck the money off. And we was young, so we definitely did some dumb shit.
I was usually broke by shit.
Yeah.
If we got paid on Friday, I was broke by Wednesday of the following week, and I had to eat at the mess hall for a week and a half. I get it, bro. Like
that salad used to be hidden though.
You know what, man? I used to love I was a big fan of, and I know y'all gonna think I'm weird for this. I was a big fan of the breakfast, but I used to love chip beef. Whenever we had chip beef, the beef with the gravy.
Oh, like the white
shit on the shingle. Yeah, like they used to call it. Like they used to call it shit on the shingle. You put it over the.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I didn't think nothing of it.
Y'all didn't have that? Oh man,
we did. I fucked with it.
Oh, I used to love that, bro. That was one of my go-tos. And then
for dinner, some rice or something, right?
Exactly, rice or grits or whatever. Mashed potatoes. Yeah, and then dinner was always. I used to love mac and cheese. I used to love the hamburger helper.
What was your favorite MRE?
My favorite MRE? Oh, that's easy. Beef stew.
Mine was spaghetti.
Spaghetti was tight.
Spaghetti with the jalapeno cheese.
Yeah.
And melt the jalapeno cheese and then pour it into the spaghetti.
Yeah. Right. And then I'm not a big fan of cheese, so I couldn't,
Right on.
But no, beef stew and
I actually fucked with the potatoes au gratin too.
Potatoes au gratin was cool, but surprisingly, bro, and I wasn't really bad. I used to fuck with the tuna. I used to fuck with the. They had little. Well, I don't know. They might not have had them, but they weren't really popular, so they probably were phasing them out by the time
1800s.
I left. But no, man. Yeah, MREs was cool, man. I used to like cats be complaining. I'm like, man, look, I didn't, and I used to like the brownie.
I like
MRE.
We had the lemon and vanilla pound cake.
Yeah, pound cake was bomb, but the brownie was good too.
But if you can get that cocoa mix, and put just a little bit of water in it to where it's thick, and then dip your cake in that. Man,
we up here trying to make MRE's delicacies. No.
Man,
you got to do what you got to do, bro. Yeah,
you had to trade. You had to trade what you had to trade. Nigga, you had to give up.
But I used to fuck with the tuna, man. It was like a tuna. It was like tuna with peas and macaroni. It was like tuna. It was like a tuna mac. They didn't have a tuna mac when you was coming through.
Maybe it sounds familiar.
Yeah, it was like tuna mac. It was like a cold tuna mac. But it was tuna with like peas, carrots, onions, and then had a little noodle pack, and you put over the noodles and shit.
Thing about being supplied is when you go out to the field,
you get to pick your own MREs.
The MREs come through you.
Come through you, yeah. Exactly.
So it's like I'm never eating an MRE
all the time, bro. That's what I'm saying. I used to always pull the beef stew. They had the chicken, the shredded chicken. Was it chicken? It wasn't chicken Kiev, but it was like chicken, whatever the fuck it was. But yeah, I used to pull mine all the time, bro.
It was wild because in boot camp you get what you get.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, our drill instructors used to rob motherfuckers sometimes. They'd be like, "Who got cheese? Give me cheese." And then bro, I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to be doing that.
Hey man,
you stealing this man's nutrients. Yeah. What is he gonna say? No.
I ate most of the MREs. It wasn't really no MREs that I really just didn't didn't mess with. I was pretty cool with any of them, but like I said, because I worked in supply, I would definitely.
There was one I did
slide myself a extra beef stew or something.
The Frankfurters was dope. They came with the little fries or whatever.
With the fries, yep.
Yeah, but all that shit, like even just like being a part of like and seeing how certain people dropped it pretty quick. Like I said, once people started going home, then people started trying to come back to the Marine Corps and represent home.
Oh yeah,
and it was just like, I mean,
I had a cat like that.
You could do that.
Look, I had a cat like that, man. I can't talk about it on camera too much, but I had a cat that was from Chicago, and he was folks.
Yeah.
So he came back from recruit training with the hat, hat to the left. I don't hold me if I'm wrong. I can't remember which way folks is. I
used to tilt my hat too.
I know it was folks.
Had nothing to do with that.
I know it was folks, Peoples, and Latin Kings.
Yeah.
And I was in a unit at one point that we had each one of them. We had 3 cats from Chicago. One was folks, one was Peoples, one was this Hispanic dude. He was Latin Kings. Puerto Rican dudes, but Latin Kings. And man, when I tell you that them cats used to beef every day, I was having to break up. No, this was on the fleet.
Oh, okay.
I was on the fleet with these cats. They was all in my unit when I worked in supply at the warehouse. Yeah. It was all underneath me at the warehouse. They was all like PFCs and lance corporals and shit.
Yeah.
But man, man, my homie used to, and it was just crazy to me that I'm like, bro, how you in the Marine Corps repping folks? You know what I'm saying? How you in the Marine Corps repping peoples? How you in the Marine Corps repping Latin Kings? And they used to, when they would go off base. Oh, it was.
I already know.
When they was off base, bro, it was just you didn't even know if these niggas was ever gonna come back because they would leave out the barracks with the puffy jackets on. You know what I'm saying? The bomber jacket, the hat tilted to the left. The Timberlands. I'm like, bro, you're not supposed to be doing that, man.
You get that sergeant major that scream you down all the way from the other side of the parade deck. Diddy bopping across with your pants sagging and you. Bruh, like, that just wasn't, like, I get it. It's a thing that happens, like, even when you see cats that get out or retire, one of the first things they want to do is grow a beard out, get some earrings, do this, that, and the other, just stuff they're not allowed to do.
I got earrings right after, I told you.
Yeah,
I won't tell it on camera. I might tell it on camera, but maybe not today. I was out of pocket. But that was the first thing I did. Is I got my ears because I had my ears pierced when I was in high school.
Yeah.
My senior year of high school, I got my ears pierced. So the first thing I did was pierce my ears again, both of them. I used to rock the Montel Jordan with the 2.
And there's something
about Montel Williams. 2 earrings and shit.
This is how we do it. That's it.
No, Montel Williams.
The
talk show host.
Talk shows. Yeah. But because there's a thing, I don't know the scientific studies or whatever, the psychological studies or whatever, but there's definitely a thing where once you get to the fleet and all that, you get past all the magic and the
dramatic, being enamored with.
Because in boot camp, you also
Marine
Corps boot camp, you also getting history classes about Marine Corps history. You getting all this, everything starts coming together. And one of the cool things about graduating boot camp is that first time that your drill instructor shakes your hand man to man, like we're equals. We're not equals, but we're
You're Marines now. We're Marines now. Yeah,
because one of my drill instructors, everything, whatever he said we had to do, he was like, by the way, you don't rate that shit. You don't rate nothing. You don't rate chow. You don't rate the bathroom break. You don't rate shit. Like his mentality was like, we're the lowest of the low. And for a person that's speaking to you like that for 3 months to finally,
embrace you.
Yeah. And I was, later on in my career, I was friends enough with enough drill instructors to know how much of a game it really
was. Yeah.
Like how much they were really, like one time I seen them lose it because on drill you have this thing when you're holding your rifle, and if your wrist is sagging, they'll tell you take a drink. which means just, pull your wrist back. They told this dude take a drink while we were marching. They told him take a drink because his wrist was sack. He reached back, grabbed the canteen out, and pulled. They
pulled him out. They pulled him out.
No, it was a funny thing because they cussed his ass out and did all of that, but you could tell they also was like, that was so funny.
It was funny, yeah.
Like they was like they were mind blown by it. Like, I can't believe you just fucking did that.
We had a couple of those situations where
and he wasn't trying to be a smart ass. He literally
he just dumb as fuck. Yeah. Like we had a couple of situations where you just saw the drill instructor do his best to not break. Where he was dealing with some shit that was just so ridiculous that he was just sitting there going, how do I keep this demeanor, but still acknowledge this bullshit that's going on in front of me. Yeah, we had a few of those.
Bro, there's something about a Marine calling another Marine a fucking rock with all this disgust on his shit. It's just like, you fucking rock.
And see, it's been so long for me, man. I try to, like, when I was talking, when we were talking about it earlier, you were reminding me about some of the wild stuff that they would say to us. Yeah. But I wish I could remember. You know what I'm saying? I can't physically remember. It's comedy. I can't physically remember all the wild stuff that they said to us, bro, because I know for a fact that I spend so much time standing at attention doing this shit right here.
Yeah, bro.
Just because I like to laugh anyway, nigga. So I'm just like, bro. It was taking everything in my power to watch. You know what the funniest shit was? I'll tell you what the funniest shit was. Sergeant Wright, Staff Sergeant Wright. Shout out to Staff Sergeant Wright. He was one of my DIs. Dude was maybe 5'6", so he wasn't a big dude. Yeah. But he was voice. He was the one that always did our commands and stuff. Yeah, he was the hammer. And he would do all the commands and stuff when we marched and stuff. Had a powerful ass voice, bro. I mean, just project that motherfucker across the whole field, bro. But he used to do this thing where he would be talking to one recruit, and then see something out the corner of his eye and scramble over there real quick to get in somebody else's face. Yeah. Bro, when I tell you, every time he did that shit, bro, it took everything in my... And if he did it to me, because he would do it to me. Yeah. And, I was tall. Yeah. So he would come up and put his bill underneath my chin and exactly. I'm like, bro, don't do that. Because I'm going to laugh, my nigga. I'm going to crack up, bro. And it was just so wild to just go through all that shit. I was on the verge of laughing in this motherfucker's face every single day, bro. He would do some wild shit.
I'm gonna tell you the first time I burst out laughing, right? We was in receiving still, right? And so, you got your diets and your double rats. Yeah. Now, diets are overweight recruits that, they need to lose weight, so they make them put red lines on their gray sweaters. Yep. Double rats are people that are too skinny and they need to gain weight, they get double rations. That's why they call them double rats. So, bro, I did not know about this. Yeah. So, the dude was getting ready to call the diet recruits up there to do the red things, and they all knew who they were already. Yeah. And so he said, let me get my fat bodies up here right now. And all these motherfuckers came. Nigga, I was like...
You had to do a balance.
How the fuck? And I'm like, nigga, you already knew you was one of the fat bodies, nigga. That was crazy to me.
I remember.
I was dying laughing.
You reminded me when you told that story. Damn it! You were talking about. I forgot that fast.
Wait, hold on. I'll tell you one more. That same dude. This was in receiving. We had these two Jamaican drill instructors. Hella cool, hella funny. And so whatever we was doing something. And I don't know, he didn't like what was going on. We was cleaning up, he didn't like the way it was going. So he's guide, aye, sir, guide. He was like, the guy came up, reported his order, sir. He was like, I just wanted to see your face. You goddamn fired. And he just picks him out. That shit was so funny.
I remember what it was. So I wasn't shaving back then. I had no facial hair, couldn't grow.
Oh, I thought you was like not shaving shit.
No. Like I said, I never had no problems. Okay. I never went to medical. never went to anything when I was in the Marine Corps, bro. I just didn't shave.
Okay.
So I'd never forget. They were making all the recruits shave, you know, when we first, you know, got there or whatever. And so I remember saying to Sergeant Canny, shout out to Sergeant Canny, Chris Canny. Love him to death. That's my dude, man, you know, whatever. And I remember saying to Sergeant Canny, like, you know, this recruit doesn't grow any hair, sir. I said that shit. I said, this recruit doesn't grow any facial hair, sir. He said, he walked over to me. He was like, and I mean, he got right up in my face, bro. Took off his brim and was just like, you fucking don't grow any hair, do you? He's like, well, guess what then, recruit? You don't have to fucking shave then. You know that? Yeah. Oh my God, bro. I was like, it was wild. Just the shit you just deal with. It was so wild. I did finally shave right before graduation, but it was bullshit. I just, you know, I had a razor, you know, I was like, whatever. But yeah, I wasn't shaving back then. So
check this out. This is during the sergeant's course. My mustache ain't never really been shit. It still ain't really shit like that, but it really wasn't shit back then.
Exactly.
And so dude was like, he said the funniest shit. We was doing an inspection. It's sergeant's course now. Yeah. I'm a sergeant in the United States Marine Corps. You know what I'm saying? This motherfucker looked at me. He said, you got 13 hairs on your top lip and they're all uncircumcised. I was like, hey, bro, what? I'll tell was that unnecessary? And after that, I just had to go with the no mustache.
Yeah, I didn't start growing a mustache. Ironically, right after I hit not right after I hit the fleet. I really didn't start growing facial hair until probably I was maybe like 4 years in. Yeah, and then I tried to push the limits.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? Once I started seeing that I could grow a goatee and shit, I started trying to, you know,
and that's what I was
keep my goatee.
That's what I was going to say before. Is like there's a thing that happens because especially if you come in straight out of high school and all of this, you can see the people trying to like
still keep a semblance of
some sort of identity. Like that's the guy with the thing and that's the guy with the. So people would, you know, get their ears pierced and just try to keep it on the low that they. And then somebody would bust them out. What's these fresh holes in your...
I had a homeboy, bro. I swear to God. Like, you know how because you know when you wear your hat, you can't really tell what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody looks like they got a high and tight. Exactly. And this nigga would take his hat off. And afro. Bro, full afro, bro. I'm like, what are you doing, man? Like this, and it was so crazy. And then I remember one of my staff Sergeant Savoy, he's a white guy, Bill Savoy, and he took, you have his hat on, you look like he got the 0 to 3, the whatever high and tight. He take his hat off, his hair fall all over the side of his face. So he got the whole. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Did he tuck it under his hat and put it back in?
It's a thing.
But they was trying to, he was 15, 16 years in, so they trying to keep
But it'd be a thing where you see certain people definitely trying to have a thing to stand out by.
Yeah.
And you got the people, like, I went from, when I went from School of Infantry as a sergeant to the MAG 39, which is the air wing. And, in the Marine Corps, on Camp Pendleton, supposedly the air wing is like skate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody looks at the air wing like, oh.
Y'all don't do shit.
They almost look at the air wing like the Air Force.
Yeah.
So, it's like, I went over there, bro, as a sergeant, and I'm like, these guys, the first thing I did was take them on like a 9-mile run, just to, like, see where everybody's at. Yeah. It wasn't even like some let them know that, like, I need to know what's up. And then, we ended up we had this one dude, he was a Mexican dude, fat, bro. Not fat for a Marine. Fat. Just fat for a person.
Fat, real life fat.
Fat.
Yeah.
So I'm new that I'm just getting there, and so I'm having everybody do a mock PFT just so I can see where everybody's at. Yeah. Because when you a sergeant, then I finna ask. I had seen it already. Then I finna ask the Lance Corporal why he's out of shape. They're gonna ask you, hey, why is he out of shape?
Yep.
So I want to see where everybody's at. Dude, we had this dude, fat, came up to me. It's like, Sergeant, do I have to do the pull-ups? And I'm like, why wouldn't you have to do the pull-ups?
It's part of the PFT.
I'm thinking he gonna tell me something's wrong with his arm, his elbow, because he was out at 29 pounds when I got there.
Yeah.
So I hadn't seen him. I'm just now seeing this dude, and I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah. And so he was like, yeah, no, I gained some weight out in the field. I was like, if you don't get your big ass up on that bar,
that's
like hilarious. I couldn't, and he still couldn't do 3 pull-ups. And this is in the fleet. So it's just like, for some people, the magic fades away and they start trying to, they don't want to be identified as a lifer or I'm all about it and all this.
For me, it's funny that you mentioned that. For me, my thing was parts, like in my hair.
Yeah.
So I had the low fade, but then I had like, the little, curved part, or I would have the part going all the way around the back of it.
I put the Duke in my shit.
Exactly.
And when everybody copied me, I was hot. I stopped doing it.
I had the low fade, about a quarter inch. But I had a part that went, straight all the way to the back, all the way around to the back of my head. I had the joint like that, and that's how I kept my individuality,
It's shout out to my boy Quentin Bowman. He came out here. He was in Motor T when I was in supplies, so he come out here from time to time. He from Philly,
yeah.
And like back then we used to rap and shit. So we used to rap together and all that type of shit. And he told me one time when he came out here to visit, we was at the dive bar, I think.
Yeah.
He told me, he was like, bro, when I got to the fleet and I seen you walking around rocking with your shit cocked to the side, he was like, I started doing it too.
Shit. Yeah. And it was like,
I didn't even know that. Yeah. That I remember cocking my shit to the side just because that was like on some me shit. Like I wouldn't try. Like I said, that was one of my identifier things that I was trying to just kind of. Even the way you roll your sleeves up, bro. Like,
I was gonna say that. I was gonna say. I used to always I used to rock my sleeves right here on my elbow, right below my elbow.
I ain't gonna lie, dog. That's, to me, I immediately judge you as a shit bag if I saw your shit.
I used to rock my shit right behind right below my elbow.
You a bag of shit.
Nah, I used to roll my shit. Sometimes I would roll mine up there. I had certain uniforms I would roll it up. Yeah.
2 to 4 inches right up under that shoulder. You know what I'm saying? Busting up out of there. Like, but if you wore your shit down here, like Gunnies used to do that shit.
And I used to keep my boots on lace at the top.
Nigga,
I used to keep because I
you was a shit bag.
No, bro, I just had like a little, like not in certain situations.
Not crazy.
Yeah, not crazy, but just
that sounds crazy though.
Because I like to wear it because I'm a boot guy. So I used to want my boots to look like, I didn't want them to look all tight and tied up around my.
How much time you spent on your boots? You spit shine?
Oh yeah, my boots was solid, bro.
You had Cadillacs?
I had the cold water. I'd have my top with the cold water in it.
Yeah.
Had the polish. I had the lighter. I would light, heat my shit, light my shit up and let it melt.
Yeah.
Put it on there, bro. My boots was always glass.
And so this was a huge judging point in the Marine Corps. If you, before they changed over to the
jump boots. Well, I had jump boots too. Jump boots you can make jump boots even shinier than regular boots. I had jungle boots, I had regular boots, I had jungle boots, and I had jump boots.
So we called those the Cadillacs.
Yes.
The ones that was like the patent leather.
Patent leathers, yeah.
Like, so that's what I'm saying. Like where I was at, we would look down on you if you wore those because it's like you did not put the time in for that shine.
Yeah, no. We didn't. We only wore them like for certain,
I know, but I'm saying like you would. That's what I'm saying. It's like that type of thing where it's like, even amongst people that you wouldn't think would care about shit like that, you'd be like, and they might not even say nothing, but like,
but jungle boots and regular cat. Oh, you had to put in work on those, bro. Mine was always, I kept mine immaculate. My boots stayed. If we went out in the field and I got dust on my boot, dirt, whatever, I came home that night.
I've seen motherfuckers.
I was going to sit down for an hour doing that.
I've seen motherfuckers show up for inspection, shit all smudged up.
Yeah, nah.
And just don't give a fuck. You just like, what do you?
I took pride in my boots. My uniforms would stay, and see, I wasn't never a cat that used to take my uniform. every so often I take my uniforms to the cleaners, but I would iron mine.
Yeah.
Starch, can of starch, spray mine, iron them, whatever. My dress blues stay, proper, whatever. Yeah.
And so and the reason I even bring that up because that's all part of the culture that's built in, like how you feel as a Marine, and you're projecting that to people.
Yeah.
Like if you walking around with shitty boots.
Yeah. Like I said, man, the love that I had for the Marine Corps when I was in it, and even on the fleet, like I said, there were days when I would put that uniform on, and I'd feel like that.
Yeah.
I'd be like, man, I'm a Marine.
When you squared away, bro, that shit feels good.
Or bet, you know what I used to love? I used to love putting on my uniform and having to go off base.
Shit, back, bro. You're not supposed to do that. You talking
about? Well, I'm saying if I you talking
about Bravos,
like Bravo, yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
And I'd be like, man, whatever.
But that's one thing I know is Air Force. They don't give a fuck. They be
They
be all out of town.
All out of town. Yeah, no.
Bro,
we didn't do that.
Somebody will roll up on you with your family.
Yeah.
If you out in town with your camis on, like they'll be like, what are you doing, Marine?
No,
like,
I never. No,
never. If you could be with your wife and family, and they will roll up on you if you got your shit out.
When I see it now, I go, damn, that y'all can do that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can,
bro. Even when we was in Kuwait, the Air Force is different, bro. They wear they camis, and then they'd have like
the Army's like that too, though.
But I'm talking about these cats would have whatever they choice a baseball team hat on, like
with Boston, their camouflage.
Yeah, Boston Red Sox, Angels. The funny thing about that is you would see Marines that are like they almost imploding because they want to say something so bad, but you can't because that's the Air Force.
Well, same thing. Even I remember we had other military members on our on the Marine Corps base, and again stuff like even wearing earrings.
Yeah,
you see these cats out with earrings in Navy cats or Army or whatever, and you're like, what are you doing, bro? Like
bro, it'd be the funniest thing when motherfuckers showing pictures from when they was on leave, and forget
got the earrings
and
in
then
their ears.
Hey, bro, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on with that? And as a matter of fact, let me see your earlobes. Wow, that look kind of fresh. That look like you just had them shits in last night.
You had to get the clear post from Claire's.
But that's how badly, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how badly motherfuckers want to identify.
Yeah. Because again, bro,
it's a natural thing.
Well, because even now, like, I've been out for 27 years. You've been out for 15 plus?
About
20 years.
Almost, 28 years.
Okay, so even now, bro.
Oh, almost 30 years. My bad.
When people talk about the Marine Corps, it's wild because even still, you get boxed in. You know what I'm saying? Like immediately when I say Marine Corps to people, they automatically think, "Oh, you crazy." You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm like, "No, I'm not." You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not crazy.
I got out in 2004, so I've been out 20
years.
My bad.
You went in 95.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? But they have these, perceptions of who we are, and sometimes, again, it's hard. Like I said this to you earlier. There was a point in time where I didn't tell people I was a Marine.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to be boxed into that thinking of I'm just a jarhead. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a, charging the beach in Normandy or some goofy shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, just no, bro. I'm a logical thinking, intelligent, college educated, dude who just happened to have a 8-year stint in the Marine. You know what I mean? But it's so wild that we try so hard to, like you said, break away from that mold of I'm just a Marine. I'm just a Marine.
Bro, we definitely, especially as Lance Corporals and PFCs, we would clown you if you was too moto, bro. I ain't moto.
Exactly. Like calm down. Exactly. Calm down, bro.
Take it easy.
Yeah. And I had to be that dude.
The greatest American hero.
And I never was that guy. But I remember when I got promoted to, when I got promoted to corporal, I remember like my other sergeants and staff sergeants, and they wanted me, you know what I'm saying? They expect you to turn into that dude. I'm like, I'm not about to be that dude, bro. No, I can still be a leader without having to be a, hard charging, Marine, and everything is Marine Corps with that. Like, bro, I can't even imagine you know, I couldn't imagine it then, but I couldn't even imagine, like, people, and it's funny because I probably, you know, there's still things that we do that, you know, came from that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like, there's still things that I do to this day that came, that were a product of that.
Yeah. Everything that, you know, the framework of even the confidence I had to go into a leadership position at work is just like, yeah, of course. I know how to be, you know, trust me, if I'm in my early 20s and I'm in charge of 50 people and we're in a strange company, I can handle this.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it's like,
exactly.
So and that's the kind of thing where it's like, there's a, you know, even when I got out, I'm like you. I wasn't rocking with it for a long time. I was like, man, I didn't go to the VA and none of that because I was like, I'm cool. I was working at UPS. I was like, I'm good. I don't need whatever they, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah, but
I ain't crazy. I ain't, you know, whatever. But yeah, exactly.
But also I definitely was crazy. So
I was
just
too.
Yeah. So it just.
So you don't find out until somebody else point the shit out to you. Yeah.
No, I definitely got diagnosed with PTSD when I got out, but a lot happened at them last couple years. But so that made me want to separate from all of that, like, and just like not deal with, you know, some of the worst shit that ever happened in my life. So it just like I separated, and then when I came back to it, actually when I went to the Marine Corps ball last year in New Orleans with my brother and me and my wife went out there, and bruh, there was it was like a thing of like having a home cooked meal that you haven't had just because nobody cooks that, and it's just like, I remember this, the way the band marches, the way all the different ceremonies, all the different little things. Like, this, and it really, there was a pride in it. Like,
I was gonna say, there's definitely elements of the Marine Corps I was just about to say that. There's definitely elements of the Marine Corps and that time that I spent in there that make me feel prideful. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you know, certain things I did, graduating recruit training, other things I did when I was on the fleet that just were like, man, you know, I did that. Mm-hmm. There will never be another job that I'll have that will allow me to do these certain things. You know what I'm saying? These are strictly things that I can only be able to accomplish in the military.
You had a good conduct medal?
Yeah.
Do you have a NAM?
Do I have a NAM? I think I do. I gotta look at my DD-214. I'm pretty sure I do.
You ain't got no NAM.
Maybe not. I know I got a good conduct medal. I definitely know I got a good conduct medal. No, then I don't. No.
Hell no, you ain't got no NAM. I got a NAM. I got a NAM with a star on it, I think.
No,
I don't. I just got a NAM.
But
Naval Achievement Medals.
Wait, I gotta look at my DD-214, bro. Like, again,
Naval Achievement Medals is something that they usually do it like when you leaving a unit because it's like it's gotta be a big write up.
Yeah, no, like, I didn't do it. Then that wasn't me because I stayed at the same unit my entire time.
Oh, okay.
Not the entire time, but yeah, for the most part.
I mean, you can still get a NAM like that, but I got mine.
You gotta do some major shit.
Yeah, it got
no, big. It wasn't like that. But no, like I said, bro, like I said, there's certain times when I sit back and I'll see something on TV or or something that happened around me or whatever, and it'll take me back to that time where I'm just like, and then there's other times when I'm just like, I could give a damn less, and we talked about this earlier. That's always the balance for us as, black men in America, where we're always on that fence of, I want to be patriotic. I want to be, all in with this thing. But then I'm like, nah, because again, when I don't give a damn. I know, and this was always one of my struggles. Yeah. I know that it's supposed to be God, country, Corps. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the, God, country, Corps.
Yeah.
But if you ask me to put my blackness up against Corps, I'm going to go with my blackness every time, bro. Yeah. Every time. And I know that might be, and now that I'm not in the Marine Corps anymore, and no attachment, no affiliation to the Guard, I can say that, and it probably not be as,
I mean, I'm trying to imagine what exact choices would have to be made.
You probably would never have to make that choice. It would be like martial law or something. Like if martial law went down.
Oh, okay.
What side you picking?
Well, that's why I always like. So in movies where they weaponize the military.
Yeah.
I'm always like, I don't buy it because, bro, there's people from all these places, and the people that's in their unit with them, if they say, bro, I'm from this place, my family's from this place, they're not
gonna go in there and bomb my fucking neighborhood. Exactly. Yeah.
So it's just like, I always be like, that's when they try to do that in movies, I'd be like, that's lazy. I just don't think you can weaponize maybe a corrupt unit of the military, but just to be able the
entire military, we're gonna go to
get the military to go through American streets.
We're gonna go to Las Vegas Nah, I feel that, but it's a delicate balance, man. And I think even now, like I said, 30 years removed, almost 27 years now removed from the Marine Corps, man. It's still something I'm trying to, still trying to navigate, because I still deal with, like there's a certain pride that I feel when the national anthem is played.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And when I'm at a game or an event or whatever, they play it, I stand up and and I put my hand across my heart and I acknowledge it.
Yeah.
But then when you see something like, the Colin Kaepernick situation, it's like, fuck, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then it's like, and so that's always just the struggle that, for me, is stuff like that. Exactly.
And so that's where I, like, for me, and I'm not diminishing how you saying your thing either, but I'm just saying, like, for me, I saw more of the more than choosing my blackness over the Corps, I had to choose my blackness over country, like, because that is where, like, it is a weird thing to be a veteran and be a proud veteran, but still be triggered by the flag, because you're like, I know what you mean by that flag.
Exactly.
And then now you're seeing all these basically gangbanging flags with an extra stripe on there that's a different color, whether it's blue or black. And now, it used to be a thing, you don't desecrate the flag, you don't drop the flag, you don't this. But now it's all these different colors on here depending on what kind of statement you're trying to make.
Yeah.
And
you mean like the LBGT or the police, the black and blue, or blue state, whatever, blue,
Yeah, it's just like a thing where it's just like you're using that flag to make a point now, and that's your right in this country to do that. But it's just like I be triggered by flat. Like if I see, what the kit is.
Yeah.
You pull up on the kit and you see, and I deliver packages. I'm pulling up on everybody's crib, and I just when you see that flag and when they go with the whole flagpole out front, you be like, wow. What's it?
Yep.
Because it's not always that, but it doesn't feel like they're saying America. It feels like they're saying white America.
Yeah. And for us, again, like just even that, you're right. Because even that is where it's like if I see the flag outside of a government building, I'm like, that's cool. Yeah. If I see the flag outside of your house, I'm like,
and two big flags in the back of your truck.
And I'm like, this motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's totally
the back window got a little glue on flag, and then
totally. And again, it's weird how just seeing the flag in different places. The Olympics just happened.
Yeah.
When you see the flag at the Olympics, you're like, America, let's go. Let's kill all these motherfuckers, whatever. Let's beat all these motherfuckers. Let's win the gold, whatever. But when I see the flag, like you said, on the back of a fucking dually when I'm driving down the 215, I'm like,
well, when I see
this motherfucker.
When I seen motherfuckers carrying Confederate flags through the Capitol building, I was genuinely upset.
Yeah.
And I don't be on that like that, but I was upset because I was like, bro, no.
Yeah.
You by definition, you're carrying a terrorist flag through. You're carrying a flag that represents a group that fought this country.
Yeah.
Through the Capitol.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing? Yeah. Like that really. And I'm not saying nothing new. That annoyed a lot of people, but I'm just saying, like, when it comes to the flag and being a veteran and being black, there is a complication with all that.
Absolutely, bro. And like I said, that's always been my struggle. I think I struggled with it even while I was in, but I didn't acknowledge it as much. Yeah. Once I got out, oh yeah. As soon as I got out, the struggle really started for me. Yeah. It really, really started for me. And, I mean, it was just, it was just continuous. It was like, but I take that back. I remember being in, and I remember when the whole Rodney King thing went down. Yeah. That was one of the first times that, because I was an adult, I was just, 21 at the time, 1992, whatever that was. I was still in high school. But I remember even when that happened, again, it was one of those things that was like a point of contention between us, as Marines. You had these, you had the white Marines that was like, and you had the black Marines like, I'll fuck you up, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be out here just, So even just that was the first time that I remember something happening in my adult life that conflicted me with, like you said, America. Not maybe so much the core, but the country. Yeah. And then it was like, oh, wow, And so, and then it just kept, it just never stopped. Yeah. And so when I got out, it was like, okay, I'm out now, and I was just like, I just wanted to not even have anything to do with it because I realized that, that whole God country core thing didn't fit my mentality as a black man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? As a black man, I had to go, nah, it can't be God country core first. It's got to be, black God country core maybe, and it's a lot, man. I'm glad we talked about it. I'm glad we tackled it, man, because again, I don't think a lot of people, I think more people need to know, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sure that if we sat down with, other military members, white or black, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. We'd find out that this is not just it's not just a issue that, it's an issue that probably most of us face, like you said, being where you're from, you know what I'm saying? Having the philosophies and ideologies that you grew up with, and passed down to you from your grandparents and your parents and whatever. I'm sure that even the white, Marines probably struggled with certain shit that they were taught and then had to, unlearn it, dealing with, us,
and
whatever.
And there's definitely like, we're talking about 90s, early 2000s Marine Corps.
Yeah, exactly. So, imagine the 50s and exactly.
Well, no, but I'm also saying like in the conversations I have with my brother, everything's not perfect, everything's not washed away, but the conversations that they even entertain now
wouldn't have happened 30 years ago.
Hell no, bro.
Exactly.
For when we was at the Marine Corps ball, I'm there with my brother. He's there with basically his ex-husband. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's embracing them both. Yeah, they know them both. That ain't happening in the 90s.
I was going to say that wouldn't have happened when I went in the late 80s, early 90s. Yeah.
So it's just like certain, and they're starting to, because on some front, it's becoming an issue of being able to retain people and being able to get people in. Marine Corps is already the smallest and it's the hardest to recruit for already. Like people, sign their firstborns over to the Air Force. Yeah. Like people, they ain't never got a problem get people, but it's just like they've had to, really consider mental health and just like social worldly things where
social things where the Marine Corps was like where the Marine Corps was just it was almost like a whole different sect of like it didn't there was nothing about the world that made sense if you were going to be a Marine, right? Like if you're going to be a Marine, you had to, like you said, you had to be reconditioned, you had to be restructured, you had to be broken down and built back up a certain way, and that was it. There was no logic to, like you said, like we've been talking about. There was no identity. Yeah. Your identity was, I'm a fucking Marine.
Yeah.
You know, and if I'm a killing, whatever that was, I'm a killing machine, I'm a whatever, you know.
And if you're having a problem with that, there's something you're doing wrong.
Exactly. Yep.
And if you don't like the orders that's been handed down or whatever it is,
get the fuck out.
Yeah, there was no consideration for your actual feelings like that. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. Get
the sand out of your pussy and all that kind of stuff. But now, they actually do consider. They sit back and take a look. Oh, why are just like with the NFL? They actually stopping and taking a look at concussions and this is. And you still got the people that's like, oh, they're pussies now. Exactly. They don't be hitting as hard as they. Really? Have you ever seen how big those humans are in real life?
I'm just saying, bro. Like you still, I don't give a damn whether you getting hit in your chest, your hip, your thigh, whatever. You still getting hit by a motherfucker that's 6'2", 240 pounds,
and most of these
running a 4'4". You know,
and most of these motherfuckers will bounce Dick Butkus off the thing. Like,
exactly.
Get your, and that's where they got. That was the tough. Exactly. Like, okay, you think Dick Butkus in his prime want anything to do with Ndamukong Suh?
Well, hell, I was gonna say you ain't. Well, yeah, it's still the same era, but Ray Lewis or whatever, or just hell, even if you look at and we always had these conversations and we can wind it down or whatever, but like when we talk about sports, dude. Just understand, man, these dudes, however tough, fast, hard-hitting you thought these dudes were in the 50s and 60s, they was that much more in the 70s. They was that much more in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? They was that much more in the 90s. You think Dick Butkus hit harder than Lawrence Taylor?
You out of your
goddamn mind. You know what I'm saying?
Sounds good.
But and for as hard as I saw Lawrence Taylor hit people, Ray Lewis came along, and I'm like, goddamn, like come on, bro. I don't want to get hit by either. I don't want to get hit by none of them. But I know goddamn well Ray Lewis hit harder than
so all that
Lawrence Taylor.
flag football talk and all that stuff. It's just like, but the reason I even bring that up is because. An organization like that who's never considered, as a matter of fact, they celebrated how hard you get hit and get hit and get fucked up and all that. They're now taking a step back and saying, okay, what safety measures can we take? And so the Marine Corps is also doing that. Like, why are we having these suicides? Why are we having these people are getting out after 4 years? Why? You know what I'm saying? Like, why is these things happening? We got to
shout out to the Marine Corps, man, for definitely addressing those issues. Because again, when I came through, they didn't care. They didn't, we didn't, and I'm sure before I went, before me and whatever, I can't even imagine, bro. I know what I know.
Yeah.
I know what I know in the time that I was there, and we didn't have. They didn't give a damn about you. They sent you home.
Yeah.
If you couldn't hack it, you went home.
Yeah.
There was no, there was no counseling. There was no let's find out what we can do to help you be a better Marine or whatever. It was you're not. Like you said, you don't fit our program.
Yeah.
You got to go. It was their program, and that was it. There was no outside of whatever it was that whatever box or thing that they had. You had to fit in that box. There was no conforming outside of whatever the box of being a Marine was. So shout out to the Marine Corps for stepping up and realizing that
really
it's not 75 anymore, 85,
like
whatever.
The Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, we talked about
that is celebrated, and from a distance, it's hilarious. Yeah. Most of the stuff he was saying was hilarious, and that's how it really be a lot of times. But it's just like, in the 90s, 2000s, a Marine come to a drill instructor and be like, I'm having an anxiety attack. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Why the fuck aren't you at the POA? And who the fuck told you to speak? You know what I mean? It's just like not something that they were considering back then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and then like I said, just the training that you have to do for that, even because again, as a drill instructor, you're not even supposed to, like you said, these dudes have, they have like some semblance of, like being real people or being people who empathetic or whatever that looks like. But they also have that job to do.
Yeah.
Their job is to get you ready to be a Marine.
Their job is to restructure a bunch of men and women that came from all different walks of life, raised all kind of different ways, and make them have the same mind.
And they got one way to do They got one way to do that. Yeah. They're trained to do that one way. There's one way that everybody's supposed to be, and it's just like when you go to school, everybody don't learn the same. You know what I'm saying? You might be a visual learner. You know what I'm saying? I might be a whatever, listening learner, whatever that is. And so, and
then you realize most of that schooling stuff is really just set up to make sure you're a good worker.
Yeah.
Because you do the same, you take your breaks, take your recess, you take your lunch, you take Monday through Friday. The whole thing is set up to get you into that routine. So by the time you do get a job,
you trained.
If you're a straight A student, like they say that C students be the CEOs and they hire the A students.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's just, whatever. But we're going long on this.
Yeah. All right, man. Man. We appreciate y'all again for tapping in with us for another conversation, man. We'll be back next week. Shout out to me, your everyday dude, Jay Devon.
And me, Jerome.
Your boy, Jerome.
We might cut this into 2 pieces, man. It's long.
We might have to do that too. Yeah. We won't put that on the camera, but we'll, But thank you guys for tapping in, man. Make sure y'all follow us on all the social media platforms. YouTube, now we have the J&J podcast is up on YouTube. Yeah. And again,
Jerome Comedy for my Instagram.
Jerome Comedy, Jay Devon for me. And man, we're gonna drop all that stuff, links and stuff. You'll get all that stuff and little throughout the show. But yeah, man, y'all make sure y'all follow us, tap in with us, and we'll see y'all next week. Peace.